With a little under 1 week left of regular season basketball, I think we have a pretty good idea of who the top players were this season, and today I'm going to be making my personal All-NBA first, second, and third team. Now, a large portion of y'all are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, and if you like my videos and see potential in what I got going here, it really would mean a ton if you went down and did subscribe. It really does go a long way for the channel, and I really appreciate it a ton if you went and did that. Now, if you were not aware, the NBA did come up with some new rules for the All-NBA selections and everything, but I believe that's going to be applied for next season, not necessarily this year, because the year is just ending and I don't think they would just add this last second before the year ended. The new rules for All-NBA was the players had to play 65 games minimum, and it was also going to be positionless, but I believe all that's going to be for next season, not this season, so I'm going off the old rules. And just a heads up, a few players still won't be on here, such as Kevin Durant and Kawhi and a few others. You know, those players are definitely All-NBA players, but this season they missed a lot of time, so they're not on here with the other guys. So starting with All-NBA first team, we're going to go with the 2 guard spots and then move to center. The best point guard in the entire NBA this season, I believe, has been Luka Doncic. Even though the Mavericks have not been good this season, they're still fighting to make the play-in game. They're still out of it. It's looking like they might honestly miss it, and they might even shut down Luka and Kyrie. But Luka Doncic, despite this bad play by the Mavericks, he has been without a doubt incredible all year. He's averaging 32.9 points per game, first among guards and second in the entire league behind Embiid, 8.7 rebounds per game, 8.1 assists per game, and shooting a career best 61 true shooting percentage. And if it wasn't for the Mavs playing so bad lately, Luka would definitely be an MVP candidate, and honestly he was an MVP candidate before this major drop off in the past like 3 weeks or so. Now, we're not going to spend too much time on every player because I have a lot of players to get through, so the next guard alongside Luka Doncic on All-NBA first team is none other than Damian Lillard. Now, you can make a case for Dame being the best point guard this year, but I think it's Luka just barely. But Dame has definitely been incredible all season. Don't get it messed up. This man Dame has been insane, putting up 70 points. This man was going crazy, and it was very unfortunate to see the season really end probably like a week or two ago, just because of how bad this team was, and then probably being eliminated way earlier than anybody thought. Now, Dame did miss a big chunk of the season, but I think he played enough games for me to include him on here. But the Blazers, 3rd worst Western Conference team in the league. But to be honest, Damian Lillard had zero part of that. Like, if it wasn't for Dame, I said it in my Blazers video, this team would be getting like a top 3 pick in the draft probably. Like, Dame is carrying this team so hard, it's insane. Dame is averaging maybe his best stats of his whole career, arguably, averaging 32.2 points per game, second amongst guards, and 3rd in the league, 4.8 rebounds per game, 7.3 assists per game, and just like Luka, had a career best true shooting percentage with a 64.5%. Both these guards have been literally unguardable all season, and had their teams been better, both these guys will be MVP candidates without a doubt. Now, for the 2 forwards for the All-NBA first team, I got Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum is a lock, honestly. He was an MVP candidate, maybe before All-Star break, kind of fell off a little bit afterwards. But Jason Tatum has still been incredible, leading the Celtics team to the 2nd best record in the whole NBA. And unlike the 2 guards I was naming off, like Damian Lillard and Luka, Jason Tatum plays defense and plays defense at a very high level. Tatum is also averaging a career high in points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game, and true shooting percentage. Tatum is currently having arguably the best season of his entire career, leading this team to many wins, and is probably the favorite to come out the East behind the Bucks. The 2nd forward on here I think goes without question. We all know who it is. Giannis Antetokounmpo. This man Giannis has the Bucks with the best record in the entire league, not just the East, the entire league. He's been their best player, their most consistent player, arguably the most dominant player in the entire league, is elite on both offense and defense. Giannis is also one of only 6 players averaging 30 this season or more, and he's easily the worst shooter of the 6. This man is not even shooting threes at a very high clip, and he's averaging 30 with the best of them. I go more in depth into Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid more in my MVP video, so if you want to watch that, link in the description. So I'm going to, skip over those guys a little faster than usual because I already talked about them in a very recent video more in depth. The center spot for the first team can really go any way. Honestly, I won't be mad if you choose Jokic, but I have Embiid up here. Embiid is my MVP as of right now. Giannis is honestly creeping up behind him in my opinion. Giannis is right there. But Embiid is my MVP right now, and my MVP has to be on all NBA first team too. Now, like I said, if you want to hear me talk about more about Embiid, go check out my MVP video in the description below. So let's move to all NBA second team, where the guards, honestly, if you were to put them in all NBA first team, I would not be mad at you. Maybe if you put him over Luka, but if you put him over Dame, I wouldn't be super mad at you, especially when you look at their record and everything. But I have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander up here on All-NBA second team. This man has been hooping for the OKC Thunder, and if you want to make that argument for first team, go right ahead. This man has been incredible. Shai has been the definition of a bucket this season, and is definitely no slouch on the defensive side of the ball as well. Shai has averaged a crazy 31.5 points per game, 5.4 assists per game, 4.8 rebounds per game, and a 62.6 true shooting percentage. I haven't looked at it, but I assume all of those are career highs for Shai. This man Shai has been incredible all season, and is leading this Thunder team that had no expectations coming into the season to almost the playoffs. I mean, they're in the playing game right now, but they're definitely in the fight to maybe make that 6th seed. I don't think it's going to happen, but Shai's putting him in the position to make it possible, and they'll definitely be in the playing game for sure. Shai is also an absolute bucket in the ISO, and is also guarding players in the ISO one-on-one, locking them up. He's one of the most clutch players in the league. If you want to go watch some entertaining basketball, go watch not only just Shai, but OKC Thunder basketball in general. That team is real fun. Now the second guard up here alongside Shai, another guard that you can really put on all NBA first team. I was really considering it for this player right here, but Donovan Mitchell is my other guard for all NBA second team. I was really close to putting him on first team, but I just had to put Dame up there. Like, Dame has been hooping, but Donovan Mitchell, he's right there. Him and Shai are right behind Damian Lillard for that last All-NBA first team spot, but I had to move him to second team. Still amazing play all year for these guys. The Cavs have been great all season. Top 10 in offense, top 10 in defense. Donovan Mitchell obviously isn't the main, guy on defense, but offensively, this man is a main dude, averaging 28 points per game, 4.8 assists per game, 4.2 rebounds per game, 61.1 true shooting percentage. And with this season, with Cleveland being his first, he's already climbing up their franchise rankings in multiple things like scoring, highest 40-point or most amount of 40-point games, all that kind of stuff. He's already climbing up their rankings. Mitchell's been great all season, including, as we all know, that 70 bomb that he dropped earlier on. And since All-Star Weekend as well, this man's averaged 30. And in the last 4 games for Mitchell, he's put up 40 in all 4 of them. Mitchell is going off as of late to finish off this season strong, lock up that 4th seed, and hopefully get that matchup of Cleveland and New York. It's going to be a real fun matchup. Now, my first forward on All-NBA second team, the man right next to Jason Tatum in Boston, Jaylen Brown. Brown has been great all season on both ends of the floor, just like Jason Tatum, and he's easily one of the best second options in all of basketball. In the last 15 games for Jaylen Brown, he's averaged 27.7 points per game, 6.3 rebounds per game, 4.1 assists per game, and shooting 59% true shooting percentage. Now, unfortunately, Jaylen Brown is missing this game I'm watching right now, where it's Philly versus Boston. Very exciting game right now. Unfortunately, he was missing this game. But Jaylen Brown has been hooping recently, and Jaylen Brown being a huge part of this Celtics team's success. Last forward on here, LeBron James. Honestly, I don't even think LeBron is the best Laker right now. I think Anthony Davis might have that crown finally after like 4 seasons. Anthony Davis finally has had the torch passed to him. I think Anthony Davis is the best player on the Lakers right now. But unfortunately for AD, he's been playing center all year, and I can't have him on here for power forward or nothing. So I have LeBron James at small forward. This man LeBron, let's not get it twisted. LeBron is still an incredible basketball player in year 20 at age 38. He's still out here going crazy. Now LeBron in year 20 is averaging 28 points per game on 58 true shooting percentage, 8.5 rebounds per game, 6.9 assists per game, and is leading his team to a play-in spot after many people was giving up on this team around the deadline. They were the 13th seed, not looking good for the team at all, and now they have made a huge comeback. Are they like the 7th seed, 8th seed right now, only half a game behind the 6th seed. This team is going off, going crazy at the perfect time, and LeBron and AD, have been the, front runners of this team just going off. And LeBron statistically has also just been flat out one of the best all-around players in the entire league when you go into a bunch of advanced stats and everything. LeBron just going off this year, and it also kind of feel weird not to have him on this type of list. Now, that's not the reason why I have him on here, but LeBron, second team All-NBA, this man's just going crazy. Second team center, I think it goes without question, Nikola Jokic. I would put Nikola Jokic in first team if I had the opportunity to, but unfortunately, the positionless stuff only goes into play next season, so Nikola Jokic has to fall to second team, just like Joel Embiid had to before. So Nikola Jokic, All-NBA second team center. Honestly, I don't really need to explain much about Jokic. I went over it in my MVP video, like I said, link in the description if you want to see that one. But let's go over it really quick. Nikola Jokic, one of the most efficient offensive players in the entire league, leading his team to one of the most efficient offenses in the entire league, and they're the first seed out west and have been that for a while. Do I need to say more about Jokic? This man has been incredible, also leading the league in triple doubles, one of the most amazing post players in the league, having some of the best footwork in the entire league, also one of the most valuable, statistically most valuable player in the entire league, one of the most valuable players in the entire league. Nikola Jokic, just an incredible player, one of the all-time greats at the position, and also his playmaking is out of this world. Might be the best playmaker in the league at the center position. Let's move on to third team All-NBA, where this is where people will get upset most definitely. But if your favorite player isn't on here, doesn't mean I hate that player. Doesn't mean that player is trash in my opinion. I still think these players are incredible. Like this list was hard to make. And I'm gonna have honorable mentions as well at the very end, so stay tuned for that. But let's get into these third team All-NBA guards to start it off. First guard for me, one of the best point guards of all time, maybe top 2 at his position, some might say number 1, Stephen Curry. Steph was one of the best guards of all time, like I said, but that's not how you make the list. You make it off your performance this season, and without a doubt, Steph Curry was the most consistent and greatest player for the Warriors this season. In a very rocky year for the Golden State Warriors, Steph was there, reliable, and of course doing his thing offensively. And this team honestly could have fallen way farther than they did if Steph Curry wasn't Steph Curry, with the absence of Wiggins, the inconsistencies with everyone else, that are awful role play. But thankfully Steph is Steph, and they definitely were able to save their season in a way, and are currently fighting for that 6th seed spot to not be in the play-in, but also have that playoff lock. And I'm honestly pretty surprised that they are that high in the standings. And a lot of that is due to Steph Curry's incredible play. Steph keeping this team out of the play-in into the playoffs has been averaging 29.5 points per game, just barely out of the 30 club. 6.3 assists per game, 6.1 rebounds per game, and is 0.8% away from having a 50% field goal percentage. And if he does make up that 0.8%, this man Steph would be shooting 50-40-90 on the year, and is also shooting a 65.4% true shooting percentage. The second guard on here for All-NBA third team is Devin Booker for the Phoenix Suns. Booker and the Suns basically have this 4th seed locked up for the season, and they're basically going to face either the Warriors, Lakers, or Clippers in this first round. All 3 matchups are going to be tough, but Devin Booker, with the way he's played all season, definitely looks like he can match up very well against these guys. And with KD missing so much time since being traded to Phoenix, Booker has had to carry a whole lot on offense. Since All-Star break, Booker has averaged 30.7 points per game, 4.6 rebounds per game, 5.5 assists per game, and has shot 63.8 true shooting percentage. And like I said, KD's missed a lot of time. CP3 has not been nearly as impactful as he used to be. Booker has been asked to do a whole lot on offense and has delivered all the way. Now, third team forwards, I have Jimmy G Buckets. Butler has been pretty underrated all season, considering most people have not been paying much attention to the pretty mediocre Miami Heat team. But just because they've been mediocre does not mean Jimmy Butler has. Butler has been incredible on defense, on offense, and is actually averaging the most points per game, and has shot the best field goal percentage and 3-point percentage since being a member of the Miami Heat. And when you go into advanced statistics and everything, just like Nikola Jokic, Jimmy Butler is heavily favored in those advanced stats, and is shown to be one of the best players in the league off of those. And like I said, easily one of the best perimeter defenders in the entire league. Very underrated playmaker as well. One of the better playmakers in the league, honestly. At the 4 position for sure. And Jimmy Butler can definitely get a bucket when he wants, and he's definitely one of the clutchest players in the league as well. Now the last forward on here, there was one other player I was kind of thinking, but I went for this guy, Julius Randle. Randle has been a part of one of the best duos in the league with him and Brunson, and is also one of the best duos in New York Knicks history. They've been great all year, but unfortunately suffered a pretty significant injury and is going to miss a pretty decent amount of time for New York, and hopefully makes it back for the first round of the playoffs, but no one really knows as of right now. Randle has been playing great all year though, him and Brunson, as I said, leading this Knicks team to a pretty good record, way above expectations, at least my expectations, and is right behind Cleveland. And it can be argued that this season for Randle has been a better year than his MIP season. He's averaged 25.1 points per game, which is a career high, 10 rebounds per game, 4.1 assists per game, shooting 58 true shooting percentage, which is his best percentage since being with New York. Been great all year, not a bad defender as well, and a pretty good playmaker, great rebounder, great scorer, just unfortunate to see him go down with that injury. Now the center spot for third team All-NBA, I think, in my opinion, it's undisputed who it is. Behind the two MVP candidates, Nikola Jokic and Embiid, this spot right here goes to Domantas Sabonis. Sabonis, in my opinion, is the best player on the Kings. Some might say it's Fox, a lot might say it's Fox actually, but I think Sabonis is right there, at least they're neck and neck, but Sabonis has definitely been great all year. And leading this team to a top 3 seed, I actually don't know where they are through the 3rd seed or 2nd seed right now, I kind of forgot, but they are a top 3 seed in the West. Nobody, I literally mean nobody except for Kings fan expected that, and a large part of that is due to Sabonis' dominant play. Sabonis has averaged 19.2 points per game, 12.4 rebounds per game, 7.2 assists per game, and shooting 66.8 true shooting percentage. Just been dominant amongst dominant. Sabonis is also literally a walking double-double. This man averages 19 and 12. What do you expect? But this man is leading the league in double-doubles and is also second in the league in triple-doubles, only behind Nikola Jokic, who we kind of all expect being there. Sabonis is also incredibly underrated in his playmaking, just like his dad was in the league, and is second in passer rating by centers, only behind Nikola Jokic. Now that wraps up my All-NBA teams, but I have a list of honorable mentions real quick. Just gonna, quick fire these guys off. De'Aaron Fox, Drew Holiday, Anthony Davis, Ja, Jaren Jackson Jr., Brook Lopez, James Harden, Jalen Brunson, and Pascal Siakam. All those guys I think are very much in contention for these spots. I didn't give it to them unfortunately, but they've definitely had very good years for sure and are All-NBA level players. And if you were to have any of those guys on your list over someone on 3rd team or 2nd team or whatever, if you just have them on your list, that's perfectly fine. These guys have been, playing out of their minds all season. So I can fully respect if you have these guys on your list as well. So that wraps up my very long recording session for Hoop Session. So if you like my video, hit the like button down below, subscribe button, notification bell, so you can be notified as soon as I upload. If you agree, disagree, or you're on the fence with what I was saying in this video, put it down in the comments below. Let's have a conversation about it. Be respectful. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out.